I'm going to take that as a no. Okay, so been reading a couple books by Keith Cunningham. The books that I've been reading are Keys to the Vault and The Road Less Stupid. First of all, I just love that title. And I would add these to your reading list. And here's some notes that I took from an interview that Gary Keller did with Keith Cunningham on Think Like a CEO podcast. All right, in normal times, the thought process and priorities are strategic. In normal times, our thought process and priorities are strategic. In a crisis, there are only two priorities. Number one is to survive, and number two is to stabilize. Now, survival requires cash. The moment you run out of cash, you run out of oxygen. And stabilize requires cash flow. So in order to survive, I've got to have cash, which means I better cut my expenses. And hopefully I've got money put away for a rainy day. If I don't, I'm already behind. Yes or yes. And stabilize means that I have to create cash flow, which means once I get to even, then the amount of money that I'm bringing in every month better be a little bit more than the amount of money that's going out every month. And I better have created a system in order for that to happen. Everybody follow me so far?
Yes.
Cool. So in 2017, you guys are probably familiar with this story, at least you will be once I share it with you. There was a junior varsity coach that took his team on a hike into caves in Thailand. Now, before they went into these caves, they stopped to pick up some snacks. And the snacks they picked up were the equivalent of 4 peanut butter sandwiches.
Really?
And they get inside these caves and it starts to rain and the water level rises and they're stuck and they can't get out. And it took 12 days for them to be discovered. 18 days before they were rescued. And I'm going to read this part because it's important. When they were rescued, they still had 1.5 peanut butter sandwiches left. They started out with 4 peanut butter sandwiches. Survival. Guys, think about that. What I just said, in a crisis, there are only 2 priorities. Number one is survive. Survival requires cash. Survival in the caves required food. The moment you run out of cash, you run out of oxygen. The moment you run out of food, you're going to die of starvation. And when they were discovered 18 days later, they still had 1.5 peanut butter sandwiches left. So here's the moral of the story. When you don't know how long a crisis is going to last, did they know how long they were going to be in there? No, they didn't. Do we know how long our current situation is going to last? No, we don't. Is it going to get worse? Maybe. How long is that going to last? Don't know. When you don't know how long a crisis is going to last, you better make sure you can stretch what you do have for as long as possible. June was incredible. June's gone. A lot of people on this call had their best month ever in real estate. Guys, I'm going to mute you. When you want to talk, just jump in. Mute all. Yes, cool. A lot of people on this call had their best month in the month of June. And some of us are thinking that's the new normal. That would be a big mistake. Because if you allow your spending to be equal to your current level of production than you're going to spend based on the money you made in June. And if the market slows down in July, August, and September, you're in trouble. You've eaten all your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. There ain't nothing left to eat, and you don't know how long you're going to be inside that cave. Uh-oh. Current expenses consume future oxygen. Current expenses consume future oxygen. Guys, if you're taking notes, hopefully that's something you wrote down. I'm clearly taking notes. This book is nothing but notes. Bunny trail. If you asked anybody, what's one thing that I do well, they would tell you, most people would tell you, I'm a student. First and foremost, I'm a student. I am always learning because I don't know everything there is to know, and I never will know everything there is to know. Current expenses consume future oxygen. So question, are we more hopeful than honest? Are we being more hopeful than we are being honest? The crisis we are in is not just an economic crisis, it's a how you do business crisis. Think about that. What if the government shuts business down again? What if you're no longer allowed to do open houses? That's actually a topic of conversation right now. Open houses may go away. And if that's the way you've created business in the past, you might be in trouble. Most people are too optimistic on the length of recovery or what is going to happen or what it's going to look like post-recovery. So let me say that again. Most people are too optimistic on the length of recovery or what it's going to look like post-recovery. So think about the Titanic, guys. When the Titanic set sail from England to New York, everybody's plan was to get to New York, and everybody was thinking about what they were going to do when they got to New York. The moment the Titanic hit the iceberg, that plan changed. Nobody on the Titanic was thinking about what they were going to do when they got to New York. The moment it hit the Titanic, the moment it hit an iceberg. Now, here's what's interesting. We are seeing a lot of people who are cursing the iceberg and yelling at the captain. Yes or yes? Yes, we are. Is it the iceberg's fault? No, it's not. It's just reality. Now, relying on hope and the law of attraction is insane. Neither cursing the iceberg or yelling at the captain stops the boat from sinking. Neither cursing the iceberg or yelling at the captain is going to stop that boat from sinking. Only mentally unstable people walk out their door during a Cat 5 hurricane and yell at the wind. But there's people doing that right now. Think about it. You guys are on Facebook, so am I. How many of you have seen posts about how awful 2020 is? Oh my gosh. What's next? I saw a post today with a picture of a train in flames that said, "Here comes July." Change the way you look at things, things you look at change. Your current condition is a choice. It has nothing to do with the wind. Walking outside and yelling at the wind is insane. And yet there's so many people who are doing that. Yelling at the iceberg and yelling at the captain is insane. And yet there's so many people doing that. So what should we do? We have to face reality and play. We have to face reality and play the hand we have been dealt. What does that mean? I'm going to give you a 3-step process and then we're going to talk. Number 1, cut expenses. Number 2, double down on lead generation. Number 3, double down on listings taken. Be strategic. Play chess, not checkers. What's my one thing? Take more listings. What's the one thing that you can do that will ensure you survive this crisis? Is take more listings. Now, if the market slows down, does that mean you're going to take fewer listings? No, it doesn't. It means you have to even take more listings, because if the market slows down, then fewer listings are selling. You're going from a market where 80% of your listing inventory sells every 30 days to a market where maybe only 50% of your listing inventory sells every 30 days, maybe less. In 2008, 5% of our listing inventory sold every 30 days. 5%, which means the Dietz team's goal was to sell 4 listings every month. How many listings did we need to do that? Somebody say 80. 80. You guys get that? 80. You don't need fewer listings, you need more listings. The one thing that you can do to survive this crisis, and don't fool yourself, we're in a crisis, is to take more listings. Now, as I'm saying this, Coral Springs just set a record for listings taken in the month of June. We listed 100 homes in the month of June. That's more homes than we've listed in 1 month since February of 2018. So holy cow, John, why are you talking about taking more listings? Because it's going to get worse. And you're going to need more listings. So strategic. Guaranteed sale. Learn what that looks like. No hassle listing. What does that look like? How can you create your own iBuyer program in order to attract more opportunity? What can you do in thinking outside the box in order to take more listings? All right, take yourself off mute, talk to me, tell me what your thoughts are.
John.
Hi, Cindy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Being someone that built their business on buyer side and moving, more into balanced and listing side, the thing that hits me is that in this low inventory, the buyer agent has no control. And when I am a listing side, I'm getting 10 offers. You are a pawn, you have no control. But if you have the listing, then again, in this market and as it changes, you have more control and more opportunity to, have more peanut butter sandwiches, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And so it is, that's what I notice. I mean, I love the buyer side, but right now, there's no control, and it's almost a mirror of our society. It's a little chaotic. I mean, I see professional agents losing their mind out of the stress. And on the listing side, again, you can pretty much, do your thing, do it like you do it, treat everybody right, and keep going. So it's definitely, caused us to embrace prospecting and doing the things that you're talking about to up that number.
Absolutely. Yeah. And tell me, since you have changed your focus and focused more on taking listings, how has that changed your business? What does that feel like? What is your plan for the future? What's going to look different?
Um, well, again, I've said it from the beginning. I think that the on the listing side takes more leadership and more skill. For a long time in the down market, I didn't really want to work with sellers because I didn't want to tell people bad news every day, right? I like the happy side of the transaction. But that's just me. I like happiness, right? And so really, to take a seller through what you've talked about, the pain, and helping them see that and know that they may really face that, takes a leader with heart, because I don't want that for people. So it means really, though, honing my skills in areas that.
Your signal broke up there, and here's what I want everybody to hear that Cindy just said. The shifting market is a skill-based market. The shifting market
as
is
you said, personality
market.
And caring and service.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
100%. My pleasure. All right, somebody else.
And can I just add this?
Yeah.
Somebody posted in our company Facebook group yesterday. We have a pretty large company in this area.
Yep.
Anyway, they posted the January through June numbers, and I was posted number 2. Now, again, at finishing out at a little over 8 million, while doing the president role full time.
Oh, Cindy, your signal is breaking up, and what you have to say is so important. So come back to me in just a moment when your signal comes back. All right, who's next? Talk to me. What do you hear? What do you see?
It's just that all takes.
Yeah, Cindy, your signal is breaking up really bad. I don't know if you can hear me or not. So come on, guys, talk to me. I'm going to mute Cindy. She's going to get mad at me. Hopefully not.
I don't know what you're doing, man. The demon.
She unmuted herself. We're having fun. There we go. Michael Topo, take yourself off mute and talk to me for a moment.
Yes, sir.
There you are. So I sent you a text message this morning and asked you to do an updated supply and demand analysis for me, right? And
yes, sir.
It was just an hour ago, and I'm sure you haven't done it yet. But
I have it.
You have it. Talk to me. What'd you find?
Yeah, you can definitely see where the market is really, really tight in regards to being a seller's market. So if you guys want to grab a pen and paper, I'll give you guys some quick numbers for Coral Springs and Parkland. This could be really, really valuable for you guys to know what pool to be swimming in. So I'm just going to start running them off, right? And if I go too quick, slow me down. So in Coral Springs, 350 to 400, there's 35 actives, 142 have sold in the last 6 months. That's 23 homes selling a month. That's 1.5 months worth of inventory.
Wow.
400 to 450, Coral Springs, and we're only doing single family homes, just to kind of be very clear. 400 to 450, 16 actives, 115 closed.
Wow.
19 selling a month, less than 1 month's worth of inventory.
3 weeks.
450 to 500. Yep, that's right, Paige. Wow. 450 to 500, 17 actives, 108 have sold. That's 18 selling a month. Again, less than 1 month's worth of inventory. 500 to 550, 22 actives, 51 have sold, 8 selling a month, just under 3 months worth of inventory. And then I went to 600, 550 to 600 in Coral Springs. 9 active, 27 have sold, approximately 4 selling a month. That's 2.5 months worth of inventory. So we are in a crazy seller's market in Coral Springs from 350 to 600 with an average of about 2 months worth of inventory or less.
And there's a lack of inventory. When you've got a price range like that in an area as large as Coral Springs and there are less than 20 actives, there's no inventory.
That's right. I also did the same for Parkland, John, because I know you had asked. Would you like me to share those too?
Yes.
All right, so Parkland, I jumped the price point a little bit because to enter market, you have to come in a little higher. So from 450 to 500, 10 actives, 25 sold, about 4 selling a month, 2.5 months worth of inventory. 500 to 550, 12 actives, 22 sold. It's about 3.5 or so selling a month, so just over 3 months worth of inventory. 550 to 600, 12 actives, 30 closed. 5 are selling a month, 2.5 months worth of inventory. Geez, at 550 to 600, guys, think about that. Less than 3 months worth of inventory. 600 to 650, 21 actives, 39 sold. 6.5 are selling a month, so that's 3.5 months worth of inventory. 650 to 700, 24 actives, 34 have sold. Just, about 5.5 homes selling a month, 4.5 months. 7 to 750, 20 actives, 29 sold. 4 sell per month, about 5 months worth of inventory. And this is really cool. 750 and up. There's 139 actives. 76 have sold. 12 are selling a month. We have less than a year's worth of inventory. 11 months in uber luxury market.
Got it. Did you go up to $1 million on that?
I went 750 plus.
Oh, you just went to app forever. Got it.
Correct.
Okay. So a couple things that I want you guys to hear. Thank you, Michael, for doing that. A couple things that I want you to hear, guys, is if you took a listing in the last 30 days and it's not under contract yet, it's probably overpriced. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the other thing. In order to survive, and there's a lack of inventory, you have to find a way to go get seller listings where nobody else is. You have to create seller listings that don't exist. You have to get outside the box in order to do that. You're also going to have to double down on lead generation in order to do that. You might have to triple down. You might have 2 jobs, and those 2 jobs are lead generation and going on listing appointments, and that's it. And before Cindy lost her signal, one of the questions that I wanted to ask her, because I know Cindy, I've known her for a long time. She's a very successful realtor. You guys hear $8 million year to date? That's crushing it. Is how many buyers can a great buyer's agent work with at one time? 5, maybe 6. Yeah. How many listings can you handle at one time? The infinite number. It's an infinite number. 50, 60, 70, 80, 100. It's all systems, guys. The only thing you need as you take more listings is you need better systems and you need people. And you need better systems and people in order to communicate. Because what Cindy was saying is absolutely true. The only challenge to carrying a large listing inventory as a market shifts is communicating with sellers who aren't happy because their home hasn't sold. And as long as you maintain communication, you're going to be fine. You're meeting goals and exceeding expectations. Where you lose is when you ghost your seller because their home isn't selling. And that's where you're going to lose. And by the way, 20 years in this business, the number one complaint that I've heard from consumers about real estate agents is they don't communicate. So if you know that, well, then you know the number one complaint, all you have to do is over communicate and you're going to exceed your client's expectations.
John, can I jump in real quick?
Please do.
And with today's technology, with Show Assist, you're capable of getting feedback from other agents automatically. You don't even have to call them up. And I'm blessed right now because I think I got about 11 listings right now, basically bank-owned properties. And like you said, I'm over communicating. I'm sending them on a weekly basis. Here's what people are saying. It's mind-blowing for me. With some of my properties I've had listed for 30 days, I've had 58 showings on one property. Yes, it's overlisted. I've had multiple offers on it. However, I'm able to take that block of comments that agents are saying and send it to the asset manager or the buyer or the seller and say, here's the reason why we aren't moving forward. And they've adjusted the price since then.
Yeah. Good job. Good job. All right, guys, things are changing. Things are changing in our industry. And I'm not just talking about the market. The industry is changing. You've got to survive first in order to thrive later. You've got to survive before you can stabilize. And I'm going to leave you with this. Cut expenses, double down on your lead generation, double down on the number of listings that you take. Hey, what's the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that can happen is I'm completely wrong and we continue to be in this hot market and you go out and can take twice as many listings and sell twice as many homes. I think everybody here would be okay with that, right? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Very good. Guys, make it a great day. We'll pick this up again tomorrow morning at 8:30. We're going to jump right back into Rainmaker tomorrow. Happy Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. By the way, Friday is a holiday for Keller Williams Realty International, so there will not be a call. You guys can enjoy a long 4th of July weekend, and I will see everybody tomorrow morning at 8:30. Make it a great day.
Thanks so much, John. Thank